Uh,
It's like church, so quiet.
Hi. Hi, Paul.
Good morning. Was that Sue
Good
that said
morning.
that?
Uh, it's Gigi.
Hi, Gigi. Or
Hi.
you could be Sue.
MC's not yet in. So,
Okay, okay, it's 10 o'clock.
yeah, it's
Okay,
9
we will start.
already. Yes.
Is that okay? Okay, let's
Put it
start.
in.
Okay,
Start.
We'll
okay,
start. Thank you.
it's time. Good morning. Good morning and good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to ASPAC Leadership Academy Module 1. I'm Reiko Tada, Chair of ASPAC Leadership Academy. Before we start, let me ask you very simple questions. 1. Where are you joining from? 2. How are you feeling today? As for me, I'm from Japan and I'm so excited. So I wrote down Japan and excited. Like this, please chat in one word each. Okay, this is a kind of first exercise for you in the morning or in the midnight for someone. Okay, please chat in one word each. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1, chat. Well, we can see from the Philippines, Australia, Japan, or many people from Japan. Oh, Philippines, and many people happy and excited. And oh, I can see people from Taiwan, Guam, Southern Philippines, Malaysia, oh, New Zealand, New Caledonia. Oh, how nice. Wow, thank you very much, everybody. We are so glad. Many people are excited now, and they're from the variety countries from in Asia. It's too good to know we are gathering from various places in Asia. So let's start our program. Let me show you today's agenda. First, We will welcome Paul Plazola, KI Executive Director. He's talk about their governance. And then
Rico, you need to share your slides.
oh, I'm sorry. Okay, the first speaker is their KI Executive Director, Paul. And we have question and answer period for 10 minutes, 5 minutes, and 10 minutes break. And then we welcome Greg Beard, past KI trustee. He will talk about the master quantity structure and policy and question and answer. And we have evaluation time for 5 minutes. And finally, we have group photo and closing. Okay, so now please welcome KI Executive Director Paul Palazzolo.
Thank you all, and thank you everybody for joining tonight. I'm looking at that picture. It looks like I could have used a shave that day. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and start screen sharing
Okay,
here.
could you share your slides?
Coming up. I just learned how to do this, I think. All right. Are we in?
Yes.
All right. And again, so thank you all for joining us this evening or today or this morning or wherever it may be for you. And what I'd like to do is to help us understand the concept of governance and how it lends itself to your use as part of a Kiwanis club, as part of a Kiwanis division, as part of a district, and even the Asia Pacific region or Kiwanis International. It's important, folks, that as we're thinking about this and talking about governance, we need to remember that governance is a tool. It is not the end-all purpose. I know some people really, truly get engaged and wrapped up in the concept of governance and get distracted by it because it seems to be an easy way to focus on some nitty-gritty details and some legislative content. And it's fun to kind of wordsmith and consider governance as a final product, but governance truly isn't the final product. Governance is the avenue. Governance is the way to build a roadmap, to draw a roadmap. Governance is a tool. And so I hope I can convey that process to you with this presentation and help us all relate it to what we can do in Kiwanis. And here's an opening slide that helps crystallize that, I hope. Governance is a focus on how you lead within Kiwanis. And not as a final reason for being in Kiwanis, but governance is a way to lead within Kiwanis. And there's basic concepts here that I'm going to talk about. Governance is a means to an end in terms of setting a vision, getting input on goals from that vision, how we get that input, and incorporating that into goals that everyone has agreed upon, communicating those goals effectively and clearly so that people are willing to embrace those goals and work together as a team to move forward toward those goals, toward that vision, and then celebrating and recognizing once that process is completed, when those goals are met. But that's the important part of governance is a focus on how you lead within Kiwanis. And so we'll talk about governance with the Kiwanis focus. And here's the thing, folks. Ultimately, it's all about the club. Whether you are a leader or an elected leader at the Asia Pacific level, at the district level, at the division level, the most important part of this whole structure and its reason for existence is about the club and the value, and you're going to hear me talk about that, value for the member experience. That's why we exist as leaders. That's why we have these structures, and it's important to keep that in mind. It's all about the club and how the club knows how to deliver value for the membership experience. And I hope that's clear, because it's really the only purpose for governance and the really only purpose for this structure. The reason that we have staff at 3636 Woodview Trace in Indianapolis, Indiana, and in Ghent, Belgium, is to help volunteer leaders help the clubs be the best that they can be. So how can we do that? We have to make sure that our leadership is in action. And that's an important word too, action. And it's not just making plans, because making plans is great, and flow charts are great, and PowerPoint presentations are great, and goals and 5-year plans and 5-year studies are great. But if nobody's doing anything with those plans and turning those plans into action, then governance is just a exercise in futility, just a way to plan and think you're doing something by planning, but then if you don't do something with the plans, you haven't done anything. So governance is important to remember, is leadership in action, not just planning, but in action. Governance is a guide for how decisions are made, because you'll be incorporating people's thoughts and opinions into the vision and the goals. Governance is a guide for how responsibilities are shared, because it can't just all be one person, one club president, one division lieutenant governor, one district governor cannot do everything by him or herself. You have to incorporate the delegation of those responsibilities into the goals, and who's responsible for what and by when. Not just what they are responsible for, but by when they are responsible for it. And so it's important that those responsibilities are shared, and governance is a guide for how trust is built. Because without trust, that and if I were to answer any question about what is the most difficult aspect of governance, it's the trust that you have to engage in and employ to make sure that when you assign a task and you delegate responsibility, that those who have been delegated that responsibility are actually going to carry it out. Here's a hint that I'd like you all to remember as you're listening on this forum. Sometimes it might be easier to take it all on yourself, but you're not accomplishing anything. You're wearing yourself out. You're exhausting your own self and your own talents, and you haven't done anything to help the organization by taking on everything yourself. Governance is delegation so that everybody is involved and in moving forward on the goal together. And it might be easier to just do it yourself, but the investment of time and initiative to get others to do things with you is better in the big picture and in the long run. And I think we all need to remember that before we just all start to say, oh, it's easy for me to just do it. Nope. You've got to get a team involved and delegate responsibility and assign those tasks and follow up on those tasks. Sometimes I like to say, particularly when it involves as being a club president, sometimes a club president's job is to do nothing except to see that everything else gets done. So think about that as we move forward. Now, all the goals are great and all the vision planning is great, but sometimes we don't communicate what we have accomplished in terms of setting goals. And so when you have more communication, when you have more clarity, when you are telling people more about what is expected and when it is expected, that equals fewer problems. And it's a simple equation. More clarity and more communication equals fewer problems. And it's important that we remember that too in terms of governance. Again, back to the system, goal setting, casting a vision, getting people's input and incorporated into that goal setting plan. You set the goals, you communicate those goals to those who are going to be assigned to help you carry them out, and then you celebrate once those goals are complete as each benchmark is achieved. But this is one of those elements. More clarity and communication equals fewer problems. So let's talk about governance into the big picture of my two favorite words when it comes to Kiwanis leadership. Value, you've heard me stress that. And I'll talk more about how that translates into a club formula for membership delivery of value for the member experience, and then vision, setting benchmarks and incorporating those places of where you want to see a club, a division, or a district by a certain particular date. Value and vision, two very important words that begin with the letter V. And I hope that you snap a picture of this slide and print it out and put it on your bathroom mirror so that you see it every day as you prepare for the day. While you're combing your hair or trimming your mustache, to make sure that you keep value and vision on the forefront of your minds as you prepare for the day, and think about it in the concept of Kiwanis. Vision. This is an important question that we can ask for any level, but as you are looking at governance and how to improve your club and how to improve the value of your club member experience, you want to ask your club members as you set goals and progress toward improving the club, where do we want our club to be on September 30th, 2026? And then where do we want our club to be on September 30th, 2027? Get those pictures, get those dreams, get those visions of what can be your club, or your division, or your district on a particular benchmark set of time. And the dates of September 30th, 2026 and September 30th, 2027 are ideal because those are the culmination dates of our fiscal years. So where do we want our club or our division or district to be by September 30th, 2026? So we start with that. We cast that vision. How do we do that? How do we get buy-in? Well, the first way we can do that is to rely on what Kiwanis International has provided us all in terms of what we can do to help our clubs. And how many, please raise your hand, how many of you have ever heard of the Achieving Club Excellence, the ACE tools? Okay. If you have, that's great. If you haven't, please find that link. And when you get a chance to copy that, click on that link and find all of the amazing strategies that are available to you that are part of the big picture of governance. Remember what I talked about governance is: vision, getting people's input on a goal and a vision, communicating that vision, and then celebrating progress toward that vision. Achieving Club Excellence, the ACE tools, is a way that you can exercise governance and move forward on helping your club deliver value, which is to be the best it can be. The ACE tools talk about doing a community analysis or a survey to find if your club still is doing relevant service, okay? This is an important input toward establishing a vision. So I would urge everyone on this call to say that we will engage in the ACE tools and we will do a community analysis or a survey to find out what new needs exist in our community so that we can deliver a new service project. Ideally, a community analysis or a survey should be done annually, should be done every year, traditionally in the August timeframe. But if we're working here right now, here on March, the early March timeframe of 2026, I would urge you guys to consider getting rolling with this process in your club during the month of March and by the latest April 15th, and see what new needs exist. So your club, remember we're talking about governance in the concept, in the context of your club, your Kiwanis club, knowing what service needs exist, and then working on developing a way to meet that service need, the new service project. Then the ACE tools tell us we should do a club analysis or a survey, okay? Why? Because we want to get feedback from our members about what they feel is good about their Kiwanis Club experience and what could use some improvement in their Kiwanis Club experience. The club analysis or the club survey, again, using those ACE tools at the top of that link that Kiwanis International has already done the research to help you do, will help you determine what your club members want out of their experience. Think about it this way, ladies and gentlemen, as I urge you to do this process. The community analysis helps you decide or determine what your community needs from Kiwanis, and the club analysis can help you determine what your club members want out of their Kiwanis Club experience. 2 surveys ideally done every year so that you can be on the cutting edge of casting that vision of where you can be. And once you get those surveys that cover club health, you want to cover 5 things. Here's 5 things that your club needs to do a survey incorporating it into, okay? Service, fun, marketing, membership strength, and Kiwanis family support. I give you these formulaic concepts, ladies and gentlemen, because this, and a lot of the folks that are on this call may have heard me preach this over and over again, but it's got to be preached over and over again. These are the 5 formula concepts for a club's health, for a club's success. Let me just elaborate quickly. Service, we all want to be involved in giving back and making a difference. Fun, we all want to enjoy ourselves with our friends and fellow Kiwanis members while we're doing work and just for the sake of being a good team, a good family. Number 3, marketing. Folks, we've got to proclaim our presence. Sometimes our clubs don't do a good enough job of saying that they are around and open for business in their community. A Kiwanis International marketing campaign isn't going to do any good. The best marketing is at the local level when a club says to the community, this is what we're doing, this is why we're doing it, can you help us? Would you like to join us? A club marketing effort starts in the home, and that's in the community. And please know that, when people tell us at Kiwanis International, well, you ought to do a big marketing campaign and let everybody know that Kiwanis exists. You know what? It's a haphazard, scattershot effort to do that, and sometimes a waste of money. It's more important that a club gets its message out, and district leaders, division leaders, international leaders, and Asia Pacific leaders are in process and in office to help clubs know how to do this well. We have tools to help you with it, but the bottom line, this is part of what you need to survey your club on to see how we're doing with marketing and what we can do better. Again, these are concepts that I want you to rate your club on with your fellow members, okay? Membership strength, you need to make sure that you are replacing your members that either pass away or move away, and or those that say they don't have enough time, or those that say it's too expensive. We've got to be aware that we've always got to be on the cutting edge of organizing our efforts to ask people to join our club. And then Kiwanis family support. If we have a Kiwanis Kids Club, if we have a Builders Club, a Key Club, or a Circle K Club, we got to make sure we're fulfilling our responsibilities of sponsorship. I give you these elements, ladies and gentlemen, as a starting point, as a launching pad for your own survey, for your own membership survey, and for your own community survey, to ask these questions of your fellow members. And and there's hints in that link that I showed on how you can do that, but you can do the survey at a club meeting, or you can distribute it, electronically in advance and collect those responses. However you do it, it's important that you get as many responses and feedback from as many members as possible so that you can then develop the goals and the vision for where you want to go. Again, why is this being talked about? Because it all follows under the umbrella of governance and then doing something and not just making plans. So the survey results become the goals. The survey results become the vision. And sometimes it's best to do a board or a club retreat. And that way you can gather those survey results and meet for about 3 hours on a Saturday morning with either breakfast or donuts to just go over those results, to chew on those results and get some formulation of that vision. Okay. I hope I'm clear on this, that it's a process for governance that begins with the vision, and you establish a vision by getting feedback and input and then moving forward with collectively on goals. And you do that by having a board or a club retreat. Spend or plan for 3 hours on a Saturday morning, as I said, with breakfast or donuts, to go over those survey results and put those survey results into concrete goals, 1 or 2 or 3 at the most for the fiscal year. Again, where do we want our club to be on September 30th, 2026? I mentioned Saturday morning. You review the survey results. You develop a calendar at this retreat, because a club operates well when the members are what? Informed about what's coming up. You develop an events calendar, get that out in advance so that your members and their family members can plan on what's coming up, and that keeps everybody informed. And remember, information, communication, and clarity equals success and lack of dismay. And develop a roadmap. When you have that roadmap developed at this retreat, then you know where you're going. You've got that vision, and you're casting it, and you're getting results, all under the umbrella of governance. Now that you've got those goals, okay, you've communicated those goals. Now we need to delegate, and we need to assign. I love to say it this way: we need to delegate and assign everybody their personal role in the goal. Everybody has a part. Everybody lifts a part of the load. Everybody shovels the snow for a portion or a segment of the sidewalk so that nobody has a heart attack on the way. So if you're doing a little bit at a time and everybody plays a part, it's important that everybody has their role in the goal. And you got to set benchmarks and in a time frame. And then you got to recognize the achievements, even little ones along the path toward achieving the vision. And that can be a number of ways. You celebrate successes at club meetings with little thank you gifts, with things that you can buy from the Kiwanis, the Kiwanis store, T-shirts, paperweights, whatever is a way to say thank you for achieving that benchmark. Again, with the role and the goal, everybody plays a part, but you got to say thank you once those little benchmarks along the way are achieved. And then we've got to hold people accountable. And this can be a tough part of it, because the president's job is, as I said, to do nothing except to see that everything else gets done. And sometimes that's a lot of work picking up the phone. Don't forget, these things actually make phone calls. And instead of just looking up your stock quotes and see how your portfolio did for your financial world, you can actually pick up this and make a call and say, hey, did you ask everybody to bring the supplies for the fundraiser, and touch base with the phone, and then be accountable. Encourage accountability from the beginning to the benchmark of the success point, and then say thank you, and recognize those accountability successes. So then leadership and governance is about making sure that it's not just a one-time thing because you had one particularly good president in a club during a fiscal year. It's important that that particularly good club president has set the stage for what you can do, what you shampoo your hair every day, you rinse and repeat, right? And so you want to do the same with successful events, with successful service projects, with successful club fundraisers. You want to rinse and repeat. You want to set the stage for whatever that was successful to be done again, even when that club president may no longer be a member of the club. And that's good leadership. Great leaders leave behind systems for success. And that's all part of governance. That's all part of governance. Setting a vision, getting input on the goals, communicating those goals, delegating responsibility for those goals, recognizing achievement for those goals. And that's really the big picture of governance. And then setting aside time for leaving behind a system for success. Folks, governance is all about getting things done. And governance is not planning. Governance is not writing plans. Governance is acting on those plans that are written. Writing the plans is just 0.5 in the step, in the process. It's just 0.5. The first step is starting the process of getting things done. It's the vehicle for success. It's the vehicle for value, and it's the vehicle for the vision. And value comes from, it's important that I emphasize those 5 things. Value for the membership experience is service, fun, marketing, membership ability and strength, and the Kiwanis family responsibilities of support. Key element to provide value, and that's what we've got to focus on. Sometimes we get distracted by, things that are not as important as making sure as what happens at the club level is a valuable membership experience. And it all starts with the vision. We've got to make sure that we are casting that vision after we get feedback and input, and the ACE tools are the way to get that done. I love this quote from Walt Disney. He had a few successes in his life, if you're familiar with his story. Maybe just a few successes. He was just a fly-by-night cartoonist, but he did have some successes in his life. And one of the things that he is definitely attributed to saying, it's not just something that was on a little quote picture on a meme or on the internet. This is what he actually said in an interview with Hedda Hopper. I don't know if anybody remembers who that person was. She was a columnist in the 1950s in the United States. But she interviewed Disney, and he said this: "I found the way to get started was to quit talking and begin doing." And governance it definitely engages in doing. Because if we're just talking and if we're making plans and not doing anything with those plans, we're not getting anywhere. So I want to make sure that we get a little lighthearted with Uncle Walt and what one of the ways that he attributed his own success in everything he accomplished. So I am going to, and I might be a little early, but that might, Rico, give us a bit of more time for questions, and I'm happy to answer any questions. And you can tell by the way I hopefully have delivered this that I'm very passionate about how this applies, the concept of governance applies to the club's success. Governance is not the end, it is only the vehicle to achieve the end. And sometimes it's so easy to get wrapped up in just the concept of governance and just think we're doing something because we're engaged in governance and setting the plans and being presiders. But it's about doing and getting people to join you in the doing that governance is the umbrella and the vehicle for. So I'm going to stop sharing, and please fire away any questions that you might have. And it looks like we've ballooned from 30 when I started to 53. I hope we haven't lost anybody along the way because they were tired of my ranting and raving about the elements of vision and value. But it always bears repeating, and you'll hear me repeat it over and over for as long as I'm engaged at the Kiwanis International level. And just a bit of a background, I've had a chance to, where do I come up with all this stuff? Uniquely, I've had a chance to serve at this particular level of our great organization since around 2000, the year 2000, and maybe even a little sooner. So I've had a chance when I served as international president way back in the late 1950s, and I've had a chance to see how clubs are successful. Those things that I talk about, service, fun, marketing, membership, and Kiwanis family, I didn't dream those up. I saw, I witnessed, and I watched, and I saw what clubs did with regards to those successes in those 5 areas. And let me tell you, some clubs are good in this area and not good in the other 4. Some clubs are good in the service area and in the fun area, but miss out on marketing and membership strength and Kiwanis family support. We all need to do better in all 5. And boy, if a club does all 5, That is a home run, grand slam, Kiwanis value for the member experience. And we've got to all aim for that and use governance as the path to do that. So please fire away with any questions you might have.
Thank you, Paul. Such an inspiring sessions. Okay, we have a
Well, you're
lot of
very kind. Just a
questions.
little secret. I'm
Okay.
drunk this whole time.
Okay, there's one question from the Guam Alan Kameto. Okay, the question is it better to present the year's club program or projects? Is it better to present the year's club program or projects? Paul.
Alan, help elaborate on that question a little bit. Help me understand what you're asking.
Hi, good afternoon. Basically, I have another club that I'm part with, and what we're doing is we do our project on a month-to-month basis. So we don't really know what we're gonna do the next 2 or 3 months. So I was thinking is, would it be better if we have an like for the club president, would it be better to ask the members on what kind of program they want and present a 1 year activities so that everybody knows what to do. Thank
Oh
you.
my gosh. Excellent question. Thank you, Alan. I feel like I'm on the Larry King radio show. First time listeners, first time caller, a long time listener. Yes, the answer to your question, I believe it's a better strategy to know in advance a whole year's worth of things and then be flexible and nimble as a club to be able to take on a last minute service initiative that has come to your club as an opportunity. Okay, be nimble and flexible to embrace last minute opportunities that come a club's way. Don't say no, figure out how you can get it done. But for the big picture of what your club does, I think it's a great thing to have a roadmap and a calendar of those projects already laid out so that club members know what to expect. They can put it on their life calendar, get it in their plans, and incorporate their family members into the action as well. So I hope that answers your question. But don't be so what's the right word? Not stern. Don't be so stuck in that calendar that you can't be nimble and flexible enough to when a great service when a great service project opportunity comes your club's way, that you can say yes. And with the strength that you've developed from the long-term plan of the project of clubs, the calendar of projects along the way, that you can say yes to that. So yeah, don't be resistant to any new idea that comes your way at the last minute, but plan it out so that all the other projects are in your club's calendar. Does that help, Alan?
Yes, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Great
Oh,
answer.
you're
Thank you.
welcome, sir. Thank you for being on the call.
Okay, thank you, Paul. The next question is from Gen. How do we shift mindset from clubs, the usual practice, to new trends or updates KI had done in past years? Can you
Sure.
clarify? Can you
Yeah,
clarify the
please.
question? Is it okay?
Who's the asker on that?
Yes, here. So
Yes.
my question is, any tips on shifting mindset from clubs, the usual practice, to the new trends and updates KI have done in the past year? You know, so many things have been happening to KI, like the Engage, like the
Yes.
website. We are in full
Yes.
force. But
Yes.
then there are, I'm referring to age. There are some club members who are still insisting. That's why even though they are doing the service project on the ground almost every month, and yet their presence cannot be felt at the KI level because the lack of, I don't know, capability to access, or the inability to use the laptops, or the,
Sure.
yeah, in terms
Let me
of
just start out with
communication.
an idea. And it has its roots in recognition. And hopefully you can, it'll take some work. It'll take some planning with a couple of members to do this, with some members who might be trapped in a particular either mindset or era of tool usage. Okay. Offer a system of recognition and reward for engaging in it. Okay. At some club meetings, plan some fun things that will immerse a member into a particular arena that you're trying to get them used to. And gift cards for restaurants, um, gift cards for, famous shopping, particular, pleasurable places. Walmart comes to mind in the United States, but whatever shopping fun experience there is, gift cards for that. Restaurant gift cards always work, and reward members that as you get them immersed into new areas, whether it's technology, whether it's kind of, and maybe you set up a little contest, okay, that is at a club meeting that you can help them get accustomed to, and so get club members to go into Engage, and there's a reward for that, okay. Maybe it's a trivia on page 4. This is, let me help provide an example. When Kiwanis had a monthly magazine, okay. One of the things that I would encourage club presidents to do when we had a magazine every month, and you can still do this, we still publish 2 issues, and the new one's coming out here in May. When I wanted members to get into the magazine so that it didn't just come into the mailbox and sit, I would encourage them to, find an answer to this trivia question at a club meeting, and then they get a gift card if they found the answer. I'll ask the question at the meeting, and so get the answer, and whoever gets the answer correct gets a gift card. And it is so you do that with the website, do that with Engage, do that with whatever you want a club member or members to do. You recognize and reward the challenge met. Okay. I hope that is a good way that answers your question. Is that going to be helpful?
Yes, thank you. The
Oh, you're very
reward
welcome.
the reward on cards, the vouchers. Yeah, can do
Yeah,
that.
absolutely. Especially for food.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Paul, and a very understandable reply with a lot of good examples. Thank you very much. Okay, the
And
next
again,
question,
I've
let's
had
go
too
to
much to
that.
drink. I'm half fallen down drunk right now.
Okay, thank you. The next question is from Carlo. How many goals are deemed too many for a single Kiwanis club to maintain focus? Carlo, can you clarify the question?
Sure.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Sir,
Hey,
let's
that
just
jacket
see.
fits, by the way.
Yeah. Hello. From the Philippines. How many goals are considered too many for like a single Kiwanis club, no? To effectively pursue while still maintaining focus, the
Let me answer
quality
that.
and member engagement. No.
Ideally,
Uh,
ideally, in the big picture, 2 or 3. Okay. Ideally,
okay.
2 or 3. But that doesn't mean that for a club of membership strength, if they've got 100 members, they might be able to take on more. Okay. But ideally, average club membership size, 20 members, 15 members, 2 or 3 goals in a fiscal year is just about right.
Thank you. Thank you. Sir.
Now, and let me elaborate on what those goals could be. Better marketing, okay? And you get a team, a committee that's designed to, and what does that mean? Better marketing. We want better marketing. Okay. What does that mean? Okay. We want a better Facebook page. We want a better website. We want to have a TikTok presence. And then you have sub goals within the major goal. Okay. And time frame for when it's done. And then you got a team that helps accomplish that. So you might have 2 to 3, big hairy goals, and then sub goals, benchmarks underneath that. So 2 to 3 goals might multiply into 6 or 7 sub goals, but you need that to kind of chunk it down into biteable accomplishments. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Paul.
Thank you.
Okay, then
Thank you,
You're
sir.
welcome.
thank you,
Absolutely.
Carol. Okay, the next question is from Irie. How can we set the stage for the club before the leader leaves? Okay, Irie, can you say your question in your words?
So when he was talking about setting the stage for before the leader lives, and that's what leaves like, and that's what makes like a good club. I was wondering what you can like do to actually enforce that, like what
Sure.
actions for like.
And when I say leave, I don't mean leave the club. I mean leave the office. And it's important to as a leader, know that you need to pass the torch, to pass the baton, and exemplify it this way. Um, this is not a stop and start race. Okay, this is a relay, and in the relay, the baton goes to the next runner, and the runner doesn't set the baton down, and the next runner has to pick it up. It is a passing of that baton, a smooth passing. Okay, and so you have to a club culture or a district culture or a division culture of, once the term of office is complete, you set that up that hopefully you feel like a successful officer because you've made it better for the next person. And so that has to be communicated as part of the culture of the club, the culture of the division, or the culture of the district. And ideally, if one has, you communicate this way too. And how do you pronounce your first name? Ari?
Irene,
Irie? Irie,
yes.
here's the way to communicate that culture, Irie. As a leader, as a club president, and when your term is complete, you should have done such a good job that you're so exhausted that you're ready to pass that baton. And if you've done your role well, you're ready to pass it on. You're ready to say you're next. And hopefully and sometimes I know in our Kiwanis, in our Lions Club world, in our Rotary Club world these days, it's tough to find that next person. It's tough to find that next successor. And here's one more hint that is important. If you're a current club leader or a division leader or district leader, and it gets to be around the middle of August, that current leader should really never say this, to say something like, it's August and I've only got 6 more weeks and I am out of here. And that certainly does not portray a positively enjoyable experience. Characterize it this way, and you can copy me on this because I've copied others who've said it too. I would rather have you insincerely happy than sincerely grumpy. And just remember that I would rather have you insincerely happy than sincerely grumpy when it comes to leadership service, because if you're not portraying a positive experience, nobody's going to want to serve after you're complete. So I hope that helps.
Yes, thank you.
No, you're very welcome.
Thank you. Irie, are you a SLP member?
I'm a Kiwanis Builders Club member.
Thank
I don't know
you.
what SLP is.
Okay, thank you. Okay, the next question, we have to rush up. Okay, the next question is from Anne. Would you suggest inviting outsourced speakers outside Kiwanis to speak on relevant topic and issue during CLEs, or oftentimes members don't attend CLEs since topics have been monotonous?
Okay. Well, sure. Anybody from Kiwanis International staff or volunteer leadership could virtually join your club's CLE or any other kind of club leadership training experience. Okay. But so I recommend bringing outside people in. It helps liven things up, and it does change things up a bit, which is good. Variety is a nice little uptick and change. And let me offer one more way to do a survey for your club, okay? Take notes on this because it's a tried and true way to do a community survey. Remember, I talked about the community survey under the ACE tools, okay? And what was that first thing that I said is provides a valuable experience? Service. So when we want to do a community survey to see what new service needs exist in the community, we bring community leaders who maybe aren't members of our Kiwanis Club to come to our meeting to talk for 4 minutes. And notice I say 4 minutes. It's a little odd, a bit of a number, because if you get to 5 minutes, so then it's easy to go to 10. But if you stop at 4, then it's kind of easy to remember that you've got 4 minutes to answer a question about what are the most important needs facing children in our community today. And if you get 3 or 4 community leaders that aren't in Kiwanis to come to your Kiwanis meeting, one program, one meeting, and answer that question, what are the most important needs facing children in our community today? You get these outside speakers, they have 4 minutes to answer that question, 16 minutes of time, maybe 20 minutes because people might slide over a little bit. But then you've got feedback from leaders in the community who aren't members of Kiwanis on what some ideas are for a service project. And boy, that gives you an avenue, that gives you a vehicle to answer the question about service, and then bringing that survey result into your retreat to determine what your vision and goal are for service, the service element of your club. So I hope that helps. There's 2 ways to bring in outside speakers. Get a service aspect in your survey, or just general help with conveying the concepts of leadership that could be helpful. I hope that that was good. Ann? Ann? Where's Ann?
Okay, thank you,
There's
Paul.
All right,
Okay.
thank you. I hope
We
that
have
helped, Ann.
Okay, we have 2 more questions, and can you answer in 1 or 2 minutes? The
Sure.
last 2 question is from Desiree from Malaysia. How can we attract members to step up into leadership role at the club and district level? And
Sometimes it's important to ask. Sometimes it's important to build up one's confidence in that opportunity. So if you would like someone to serve as a club president or a division lieutenant governor, ask and build them up to their confidence level. Say that they're perfect for the job. Well, I don't have enough time, but we can help you. We know you do a great job, and we can provide all the help that you need. And we'd love to at least get you started with, what do you as a potential president, what do you as a potential lieutenant governor see as a particular need that you would like to see accomplished? We'll help you do that if you want to put that into action. I hope that that's helpful, because sometimes somebody just needs to be asked. Sometimes you need to build up their confidence. Maybe they haven't thought about it, and if they've thought about it and they've told you no, sometimes they just need to, stew about it over a weekend or an evening, go home and talk to their family about it. Just ask, build up their confidence, build up their rationale, show them some things off the Kiwanis website about club presidents, if you're trying to get to be a club president, or lieutenant governors, or what it means, or that it's part of moving a great service organization forward and a great service club in the community forward. I hope that's helpful, Desiree. Give me your
okay,
feedback
thank
on
you.
that.
Okay, the very last question. Okay, is it from Rochelle Rabio? Okay, is it okay to partner with a few restaurants in our community to give discounts to our club members? Goal is to reward club members and to help local business by bringing in more customers. This is gonna be the very last question.
And the answer to that is absolutely. Please do. That accomplishes a couple of goals, okay? Number one, it incorporates that business, that restaurant, into the awareness that Kiwanis exists. It gives you a chance to tell your Kiwanis story. It gives you recognition items that you can convey to your members and get them excited about what they're being tasked or challenged to do. And so I think you've got to reach out to businesses and places that will be helpful to the Kiwanis Club in achieving that goal. So yes, and do it often and as possible. I hope that answers your question.
Thank you very much, everyone. What a nice questions to you, Paul. Okay, this is the end of the
Rinse and
presentation.
repeat. I like somebody likes that. That's good.
Thank you very much. And before we have our 7-minute break, let's give them a big hands to Paul. Thank you very much, Paul.
Good night, everybody.
Thank
Good
you, Paul.
night. Thank
Always.
you. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Wonderful
Paul.
presentation.
Thank you.
Hello, Gov Bell, you're there. I miss you.
Okay, now we have actually 6-minute break. So please come back at 10 o'clock at Malaysia, Manila time, and 11 o'clock sharply just Japanese time. So see you in 6 minutes. Okay. We have 10
Can
minutes.
we continue chatting at least while we are on break? Just that we,
Yeah, maybe we can
also
stop
want
the
to say-
recording.
Stop
Yeah, stop the
recording. Okay.
recording.
Stop the recording so that there will be yeah. Thank you, Gary.
Okay, thank you. See you after 6
Gary,
minutes.
music,
Good
please.
morning, everyone.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a very good, this is a very good session.
Yeah,
Looking at having a repeat, Reiko.
Morning. Nice to see you all.
Out there. Are you ready for the convention in Manila?
Who you talking to, Belle?
You're muted.
Music.
You, Greg, for giving your time. I know you have a very busy schedule. And thank you for accommodating our request.
Oh, I want to thank y'all very much for inviting me for having an opportunity to do this.
Yeah.
Rico, are you going to do my slides or you want me to do my slides? Do you want me to share my screen?
Okay, I will share your slides.
It's gonna monitor. It's gonna move. I think it's right. Greg will control.
Why don't we take pictures first, Reiko?
Now?
Reiko.
With
Yeah,
Paul?
maybe everybody is on board, so we might forget it. Let's turn on our camera and have picture. Gary?
Did we have one while Paul was online?
We took some pictures, but not everybody open cam. If
Yeah,
we use the app for the group photos, if you don't open your camera, you won't be part of it. So that's the problem with the group photo apps here in Zoom.
Yeah. Okay.
Gary is the technical one.
Yeah, make sure everybody turns on the video and you can see yourself. Is everybody's video on?
Unmute. Please open cam, because if not, you're not part of it.
Yes.
Yes. Gary, you took the pictures because it's better. You're the host.
Yeah. Not everybody has got the cameras turned on yet. Please turn on your camera.
Everybody turn on your camera.
Oh, MC is on the beach.
I can see.
Sorry, I'm not home.
Phone. Come on, turn on your cameras. Come on, everybody. Otherwise, you can't really see see your. We can't really see. We will not be able to see you on the app. Turn on the video. Okay, here we go. It will start snapping on its own.
Okay, good.
It's going on. It's taking. Don't worry. It's ongoing. Your video must be on. Come on. Leave it on. Leave it on. Well, it's going on.
I have my 2 kiddos with me.
Hang on. Coming.
Is it 1, 2, 3, Gary, or
No,
5, 4?
it's already started. It's already started. Just leave your video on. That's all.
But we don't have to move.
Don't have to move. It will just snap. It takes by itself. There's a few have not turned on the videos yet.
I'm sorry, I'm not at home, and I'm with my phone, so I don't know how to change the.
It's okay.
Just turn on
Enjoy
the
your
video.
day off.
Turn on the video. Good. Who else?
Can you send me a picture of the background on email so I can change mine? Because mine is kind of. I still need to learn from you, huh?
Okay, 1 more minute to start. Oh, 5 seconds. Is it okay to
Gary, are we
start?
okay?
Okay.
All right.
We're
Thank
freezing our
you. Thank you
smile.
for the photo.
Thank you, Gary.
Sure, while Greg is on session.
Okay, you to continue? No issue.
Okay, it's now 11 o'clock sharply on Japan time. So let's start the session 2. Okay, everybody, welcome back.
Cellphone mo.
Oh, hang on.
Is everybody okay to start?
Ang tanong mo yung cellphone, picture is if pagton. Puro talang selfie.
Okay, welcome back, everyone. Let's start session 2. The speaker of session 2 is Greg Beard, past international trustee, USA, Louisiana, Mississippi, West Tennessee, Kiwanis District.
Thank you very much, Rico, and I appreciate very much.
Thank you, Greg. Greg is talk about the master Kiwanis structure and policies. Let's welcome Greg. Thank you. Start.
Thank you very much, Rico. I very much appreciate ASPAC inviting me to be a part of the Leadership Academy and being part of this program. Hope you get a lot out of it as far as trying to help not only you personally, but also your club and the region that we're looking at as ASPAC. When we look at the International Kiwanis Club structure and policies, we generally know what our clubs do as far as Kiwanis is concerned, and what we look for is that structure of the real world actions that we've got. We've learned that governance is a leadership responsibility in our clubs, but then as you know that Kiwanis, what it does, what it's supposed to do, what we're supposed to do in the Kiwanis load, we're going to learn now how you lead within that Kiwanis structure. Next slide, Rico, please. Anything you want to learn about Kiwanis, you can always go to the international website, Kiwanis.org. A lot of material, a lot of resources, a lot of information that you can get yourself of how to help not only in your leadership capacity, but like membership, service projects, ideas along that way. You heard Paul talk about the ACE tools. That is also inside of the Kiwanis.org website. You just go to there, start searching. You will find more than the information what you actually started for. And that really is where you can probably rely upon a lot of information of what we do, why we do it, and how we do it. The next slide, please, Rico. What we're going to do is look tonight is today, depending on where you are, most of the people are, it's in an afternoon, some might be in an evening setting. Actually, Paul was just a moment ago, he was in the middle of the night over in Europe. So when we look at our regions, we have different time periods, different structures of art, but generally we look at the 4 pillars of governance. And when we look at that, 4 pillars of the democracy, the transparency, continuity, and compliance. When you start looking at the democracy pillar, we're looking at the leadership and action of that every member has a voice in their club. That's what a democracy is all about. And the decisions that we make all those together. Every member has a voice in the club, and when those decisions are made together, like our elections, our committees, our meetings, all those are made in a group activity as far as how we structure. Every member has a voice, and when we include in that decision making, it builds trust in our clubs, which across our clubs, across our districts, across the region, and also in Kiwanis International as a whole. We look at that is that is democracy in action, is that what we look for in a pillar. Our second pillar we look at is the transparency or clarity, let's say. Clear finances and decisions that we make. Those decisions, we have defined roles of what each one is supposed to do, not only in our leadership, but also in our club members. When we participate in a board decision or a club decision, or even the committee decision, we have clearly defined roles, and that way people know exactly what's happening and what's supposed to happen. That goes back to that trust factor as far as that. When we make those decisions, everyone knows what we're doing and why we're doing it. And communication is a big key to this, is that what we communicate, how we communicate, and when we communicate, that shows the transparency that's involved in making it very clear on the clarity aspect of it. When, as Paul says, when clarity and communication meet up together, then you have fewer problems inside of your club or your region. Jumping over to the compliance. Those are the standards that we have to comply with in Kiwanis World, which are a lot of our reports, our dues structure, our dues payment, and the bylaws we operate under from a club level, but also from a district and a region level. Those compliance factors, they protect our clubs, they safeguard our clubs to make sure we do everything right according to the legal aspect of it, but also from our regulatory ends of it. Those standards keep our clubs in good standing. And we always want to make sure our clubs are in good standing, not only from the dues point of view, but from the legality point of view. Our fourth look at is that continuity. The club survives based upon our leadership changes. I believe that was one of the questions earlier about when leaders leave, how can we manage to have our club continue to go on there? Not necessarily the leader leaving the club itself, but the leadership role. When you have continuity, that means the club survives transition. It changes the leadership. It means that the club will continue to do the great work that we're all responsible for doing, that service in our communities. And when we have continuity amongst leadership changes, that the risk of losing the relationships with our donors or our partners, the people we work with in our community, the continuity continues with that. These 4 pillars make up a lot of what our clubs do. It provides the trust factor that we all need in our clubs. It provides the stability that we need for our clubs to function. And it also, when we do that, the community impact is maintained amongst in our clubs. Next slide, please, Rika. When we start looking at our clubs, we look at you as a leader in our club. And we have the president, we have a secretary and treasurer. These are the only very few leaders that we have. We may have other ones service in our community, in our clubs, but also these are really the key factors, the key roles in there. When we look at those individual offices, the president, the secretary, and the treasurer, we want to make sure that they understand what they are supposed to do and what the club expects them to do. I think Desiree asked about club members, and Paul responded about saying, ask people to be club officers. And part of that is that many times people don't want to be a club officer because they really don't understand what that club officer is supposed to do. That comes in the education aspect of it, is that we need to make sure that each club officer is educated. We orientate those individuals to make sure that they understand what they're supposed to do. I throw that in as that was called expectations. An officer in the club has expectations of what they need to do to make sure the club function properly. And the club expects that officer to maintain those key parts of what that person's supposed to do. If we start looking at about the president, just like it says, leads all the meetings we have, either that be a club meeting or a board meeting. They are the individual that will lead the discussions, the votes, the debate that we have in there. They ensure that the decision making is a democratic way, that members have an opportunity to be heard, and then they make the decision as a whole as far as the club is concerned. They represent the club at different events, that either being at our district events or our region events or even in international events. They are a representative of the club itself. And then also they represent when we host service projects. They are the one out front of there, is that leading the club by example to be a part of the community. And then actually to motivate the members. One aspect of the president is that motivating members to do the service projects, that is the key. When members believe they have that good value, like Paul talked about, then they are pleased as far as what the club does. And that president is the leader, making sure that there's relevant ideas, relevant service for the member experience. And so they motivate individuals to keep that going on. We jump to the secretary. The secretary of that is a big key person that keeps the records or keeps the minutes of the meetings, that being either a board meeting or a club meeting. They're the ones that maintain that membership list. As we see every September, October, those membership lists come from Kiwanis International. They are the ones that look at the membership roll, making sure it's accurate as we go through the whole year. And then they communicate a lot of the information that Kiwanis International sends down to our clubs. And they communicate that to the board, the president, the leadership, and the members of the club. That is a big key, is that the secretary a lot of times is one of the very key persons that makes the club happen, let's say. And usually that individual stays for several years because of that continuity to make sure everything flows real easy. When we talk like the treasurer is a very, very key part, is that we're talking about the finances. We're talking about the funds of the club. Even from the district dues, the region dues, the international dues, it's all about the budgets too, is that individual making sure that our money is kept, our money is used in proper ways, and that it is appropriated when the board wants to do that. Financial transparency is a big key here, is that treasurer has a lot of integrity to make sure that that individual is trusted with the money of the club. When we look at all three of these club officers, no officer works independently by itself. It is a group effort, a group activity. And the success comes from the communication from each one to another, but also a clear expectation of what each one is supposed to do in that. Paul talked about delegation. That is a big key role in the president, is that making sure that delegation for members to be able to do what they want to do, how they want to do it, all in a concerted effort as far as the club is concerned. So if you look at these three key roles, we look at it as far as, take a few minutes now and think about as a leader of the club. If you are a leader of the club, what can you currently do to create clarity amongst your role and other people's roles? Think about that. How can you make sure that what you do, others know what's happening as far as that? If you're not a leader in your club yet, you should start looking as far as how, if I ever become a leader, how am I going to conduct myself, making sure that clarity, that individuals know what I'm doing, why I'm doing, and how I can help others do that. Another question you might want to look at is that where might your leadership unintentionally create confusion? Confusion comes down a lot of times with communication. When we don't communicate properly or successfully, then kind of our roles kind of get kind of confused, and others might say, what are you doing? Why are you doing that? When if you kind of operate kind of not in a clear fashion, others will kind of start questioning, what are we doing about this? So think about how you can not create confusion, but have a clear role. Another third question you might want to look at is that which aspect of governance would do you tend to avoid, let's say? Do you delegate too much? Do you delegate not enough? Do you allow other peoples to have their clear roles to do their jobs? Because you can tell is that one person cannot run a club by itself. It requires a lot of people doing a lot of roles, and they should be like that, is because the club is made up of many members that have ideas themselves that we need to all look at and hear from. Do you have, if you're a club leader, do you overreach, over control what happens? Do you kind of like get into other people's function like a committee person? The committee's function for a certain reason is that they look to see what needs to be happening in the club, and allowing them to serve their capacity, serve their role, allows the club to function in a proper aspect. Those are generally three offices that each club pretty much has all the time. And those three offices are very important to our clubs as far as maintaining the leadership capacity in there. Next slide, Rika, please. Give me the next slide. Thank you, ma'am. The key takeaways, what I want you to look for is that when we talk about structure, it's a foundation of trust we looked at. People have to believe in the leaders that have in our club, the effectiveness that they have to be effective as far as making sure our clubs function properly, and sustainability, which means that our clubs will continue even though we have leadership changes or committee changes or individual changes. Our club will continue to function as it's supposed to be in the Kiwanis world. We should have the clear roles to prevent conflict. If everyone understands not only what you're supposed to do as a club leader, but also what others are supposed to do as club leaders, then we clearly know that who is supposed to be doing, why, and where, and it does not create conflict as far as who's supposed to be doing that, or why are you supposed to be doing that, or why are not you doing that. Every member has the voice in our clubs. Our clubs are made up of volunteers, and they want to do service, they want to do leadership, they want to have fun in their clubs, and we need to make sure that their voice is heard. Transparency, that when we know what's happening with everyone behind the scenes, in front of the scenes, it builds trust as far as not only the individual, but as far as that club is concerned with other clubs and with other districts. The good governance, it sustains our impact, is that when we do the good things, the right things, we will have a major impact in our community, but also will have a major impact in our club, is because individuals want to make sure that things work out to the benefit of the club and for the community. And no officer works alone. It takes a coordinated effort for a lot of people to come together for a common good to make it that. And if we do all that, then we have a big key for success in our clubs. Next slide, Rico, please. Some reflection questions. Think about this. We think about what we do individually, but then think about what we do as a whole as a club. And think about these, is that of the four pillars we've talked about, what is the strongest one possibly in your club? We start looking as far as that, those four pillars: the democracy, the leadership, the transparency, the continuity, and the compliance. Which one is probably the strongest in your club? Maybe that too is which one is the weakest in your club. Which one needs probably the most work on that you can do as a leader or as a group in your club, as a board or community? Which one can make the club better than what it is? And which ones with specific role, when we're talking about the president, the secretary, or the treasurer, which one needs probably a little more clarification in your club? Do all of our leaders understand what they are supposed to do, when they're supposed to do it, and how? Or is it somewhat kind of confusing to them that what they're supposed to do? Those are the expectations that I kind of talked about earlier, is that making sure individuals know what they're supposed to do is a big, long way, is that they can make it easier. Also, when individuals know what they're supposed to do, when they're supposed to do it, makes those leadership questions come about a lot easier. If someone clearly understands, I'm supposed to do this at this time or like this, then they take those leadership roles on, and they will service the club, and they will be providing a lot of service and a lot of leadership in the club. The next slide, Rico, please. All right, when we start talking about the roles and we see how they overlap possibly with some personal action, we've covered the foundation of what happens, and now let's kind of put it to play. Let's kind of apply it then. When we have those clear roles in play, we kind of prevent conflict. And that's what we want to do, is prevent conflict in our clubs, because when we have conflict, we somewhat don't have the fun that we're supposed to be having. When we look at leadership, we'll show an application here, and we'll set those expectations. Next slide, please, Rico. Now, case study. This is kind of just a assumed case study of when we have a school supply drive, and many clubs have school supply drives where they come together, get a lot of school supplies for a particular school for the kids to have everything they need. This is kind of just going to be a walkthrough as far as what may happen in a club when they want to do a school supply drive. Well, in this situation, what happened is what went wrong is that the president assumed, and assumed is always a dangerous word, is because we don't know. I've always said many times is that I don't like people to assume. I want you to go find out. And when you find out, that way you can tell me what it is, and you don't have to be thinking about or guessing what's supposed to happen. In this situation, the president assumed that the treasurer would handle all the communication to the donors, and that the treasurer would take on that and do that. And the same note is that the secretary in this situation sent emails out to the same donors, and that secretary did not know that the treasurer had already done that. All of a sudden now the treasurer gets frustrated, thinking someone is stepping on their toes, someone is doing their job, and why is that supposed to happen? And all of a sudden we get someone that's kind of upset with what one had done. The messages kind of get mixed up, the money gets mixed up, we don't know who's supposed to be collecting, who's supposed to be doing this. And from a club point of view is that when your members get frustrated, if it's on the outside, many people that look into our Kiwanis clubs kind of look to see how are we acting, how are we functioning. And if we don't have our business in line, if we don't have our all of our measures in line, they say, well, sometimes I don't want to be part of them because they ain't got their act together. In this situation, the membership chair just left. Just left out entirely. Every service project, every time we get together, any membership role is a membership capability of new members. You go on a service project, many people look to say, who is doing that? Why are they doing that? And I may want to be part of that. The membership chair needs to know what's happening because those are potential members in here. So in this end result, when we have the lines confused, we have tension between people, we start blaming people that they did this or not supposed to do that, and then all of a sudden we have conflict. And when we have conflict in our clubs, that means people are not happy and they tend to be not pleasant as being around. So here, when it comes here, is that the problem here is we can lessen is that when the problem comes, when it's unclear roles, it's the role that makes the problem here. It's not the people, let's say. So we need to clearly define what those roles are. Who is supposed to do what and when they're supposed to be doing it. When we have those clearly defined roles, we don't have the confrontation that's in part of that. We don't have the mixed messages going out, and we don't have member frustration. And that's one thing we want to make sure we never have is that. And then the conflict is that it's a structural environment as far as what the club is, what the president, the secretary, the treasurer, what they're supposed to be doing. And don't take it personal as far as what happens. Sometimes people get frustrated because of the process and not the individual. So, and this was that where in your own club, think about something, not necessarily a service project or a membership project or our membership drive. Think about, have you ever seen where there's overlapping or confusing opportunities? Something along this nature? Has somebody kind of got frustrated because someone was not doing something or was doing something and or if they thought someone else was doing? Have you seen this frustration in your clubs? So the personal action here, what is one concrete way, maybe this next month, maybe this week, let's say, what action can you take on a personal level to not create that confusion, let's say? Is it something to meet with the president to clarify some responsibilities? Is it something, a simple flow chart maybe to say who is supposed to be doing what and when they're supposed to be doing it? Or is it just a recap at the board meeting of this is what we're doing and this is why we're doing it? Updating that membership list, that is a big part of that. Paul talked about earlier is that we want to do that by September 30th of 2026, or maybe advance it for another year, September 30th of 2027. These are opportunities that you can personally take in your club to make your club better and to make it to where it's not confusing to enter here. You may want to do this on a next week basis or a month basis or in the current year. And then that, but you want to make sure that you do something on that. In your personal leadership commitment, what you've learned today, how can you put this into place? How can you make one concrete leadership action that will make not only your club better, but also you better in the club? That's our personal action commitment. Next slide, Rico. Again, those takeaways: trust, effectiveness, sustainability in our clubs, clear roles that prevent conflict, and every member has a voice. And we want to build that trust. We do that with transparency, is that everyone knows what they're doing, when they're doing it, and why they're doing it. And that when we have that, we still have that sustainable impact, and that no person can do this alone. It must be delegated out to where we have a group activity. And when we have the group activity, we coordinate it. And whenever others are involved in that coordination, we have a successful act done. Next slide, Rico, please. All right, so look here is that when we look at the Leadership Academy, that every small action creates a ripple. What you do, others are going to play off of it. What you do or not do, others will react to those. We're kind of responsive to that. When you do something, someone else may join you with it or may look at you and come side by side with you as a companion. When that happens, every little small action, your club gets stronger. Stronger in the sense of membership, service, members fun. That's what you want, is that you want your club to get stronger. And when your club gets stronger, your district gets stronger, and your region, ASPAC, gets stronger. And when all of our regions come together and get stronger, that being either the United States, Canada, South America, Central America, Europe, Africa, Asia Pacific, when we all work together, Kiwanis International is getting stronger, and we do that. Remember, on a final thought I want to give to you, leadership is not about being indispensable. It's about building something that lasts forever. And that's what we do as Kiwanis members. We're building a Kiwanis that lasts forever. And we do that by our leadership roles, but we also do that with our participation and involvement. And when that happens is that, as you remember, you've got one aspect, one team, and one future working for you. We have a next slide, Rico, or is that with questions now?
Okay, now we have a question and time. So everybody, please start chatting and send some question to the speaker.
Just to give you a little background of where I come from also is that, yes, I was a past international trustee. I served from 2017 to 2020. I look as far as that is that when I thought I only had 6 months left in my trustee year, that's when COVID hit. And for the last 6 months when I was on the board, we had to figure out what we were going to do, how we were going to do it, why. Everybody had to get a group effort as far as doing that. And then I served in a leadership capacity I was on a structure committee chair from 20 to 24, of where we looked at our whole structure in the whole world, not only in the United States and Europe and ASPAC, of how our structure kind of needed changing. And we tweaked a couple of things based upon what we just came out of with COVID, how we needed to adapt and change in order for the future years of the next 20, 30, 50 years of our Kiwanis International.
Thank you very much. While we're waiting for your questions to Greg. Okay, let me ask you a question. Okay, what was your biggest governance challenge in your long Kiwanis life, and how did your club or did you overcome it?
I believe, and we talk about a district governor, but that's only not a district governor, but you talk about club president. They both have the same task: membership. Every leader in our club should be looking how membership, because membership is the driving force of what our clubs do. They are the backbone of why we do things, how we do it, when we do it. And when we have a low membership, it makes it harder on our current membership. And if you are a club president, your top priority should be membership, not only increasing membership, growing your club, but making sure your members are happy, that they have fun, that they want to be there and be part of what's happening. Sometimes we look at it as that we can get new members in our club based upon we ask them, what do you want to do if you join our club? We want to do what you want to do. We want to help you do that. Several years ago, let's say 10 or 15, many times we ask people, won't you come help us do our service projects? We've got a new kind of attitude now as far as how the culture has changed, is that now our clubs want to help other individuals do what they want to do as a concerted effort. So membership probably was the key role of what me as a governor, and also as a trustee, is that making sure our membership is strong and making sure our membership had relevant things to do as far as involvement and participation. Those are the big keys our leadership should be concerned with.
Thank you very much. How about the others? Do you have any questions?
No questions? I know I had to throw something out there to make somebody think, what about that?
Yeah. I do have a question, Greg. Okay, can you expound more on the delegation, especially for the club president, creating committees or appointing committee chairs? So that's part of the delegation. So the beauty of delegating tasks as a president to the club members.
Delegation is very, very serious as far as one of the key components, because if you are a president, you have other responsibilities of making sure the club is functioning, making sure the club is meeting, making sure the club has service projects and all those members coming together. You can't run it by yourself, because you must rely upon others to help you with your committees. If you have a committee structure of a membership committee, a service committee, maybe a fundraising committee, those individuals need to be appointed and be part of that to help you as a president make the club function. There's so many hours in the day, and you can't take them all up trying to do everything, because a club president has so much on their plate to try to make sure that the club has value, which Paul talked about, making sure their members can be involved in projects, making sure that the governance of the club takes place. And you can only do that with the help of others. You must rely upon others to help you. And then when you do have those committee chairs, the president should let those committee chairs do their job. However, making sure that the committee chairs know what they're supposed to do. Expectations comes about again. If you don't tell someone what you expect from them, you're going to get exactly that, nothing back. They need to know what they want to accomplish. And we talked about earlier about goals. Committees need to have goals also. So when the committees have their successful completion of goals, the whole club is successful in that. But it takes individuals working together to do that.
Thank you very much. Now we have one question from Gen. The question is, how can leader, maybe district, ensure alignment between KI goals, membership, and club priorities?
Kiwanis International has goals every year from the international board, and most of those goals are very kind of broad. A membership goal, an education goal, which talks about leadership, a fundraising as far as goal. When you have those major macro goals, then the club looks at it to try to kind of like do a kind of specific one. When you look as far as setting goals in the club, you want, let's just say, a membership. You want so many more members than what you have now to join, and you must have a plan in action to meet that. Kiwanis International has it as that we want more members by such and such time, or September 30th for the administration year. The club looks at it as that I can meet that because I'm going to add my members, and when each club adds their members, that it serves the function, the whole international goal of what membership's supposed to be. When we do at our club level what we're supposed to do, it makes the region better. It makes Kiwanis International better. Just because you're one club out of 7,000 just about, that is very much important, because what one club does in the Philippines or Malaysia or Taiwan is Belgium, also France, also the United States. We all working together individually to put together to have a whole goal. And so we need to look at those KI goals and try to see how we can be a part of it.
Are you okay?
Did I answer that, Jean?
Okay, then okay.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay. Then the next question is from Locello from Philippine Luzon. What do you suggest we do encourage more members to participate in our projects and attend meetings? Currently, fewer than half are actually participating.
I believe every club is probably having the same thing that you talk about there, Rochelle, is that we have a lot of members in our clubs, but only a certain small number that participate. With our busy lives these days, we always can't make every project or every meeting. And many times our culture is that a lot of people that join our service organizations don't want to meet at all. They want to do things. They want to be a part of a service. They want to accomplish something, not necessarily the meeting side of it. But we do realize that our meeting side of it is our governance side, that we have to maintain our governance in order to make sure our clubs function. I believe is that if you provide opportunities to members on a regular basis, they will be a part of it, because maybe I may not make it this month, but I may be able to make it next month. But I want, as a club leader, I need to make sure that my opportunities are there for the members to join in there. Now, we all know that we have a lot of members on our roll sometimes. My club is the same way. I have a club of about 80 members in Louisiana, but I could probably tell you only about 35 of them I see. They're the ones that are regular, let's say. And if you talk about a service project, there may be only about 15. So we look at it as that, but we do rely upon the members that are not participating. But as long as they know what we're doing, they feel like they are a part of a big adventure, our service adventure. So keeping people involved, making sure you have relevant service projects in a timely manner, is because if you only have one every 6 months, and I miss that 6 months, I'm a whole year waited for that. So I might, as a leader, I may want to look at providing opportunities and events for people to be a part of it on a regular basis. That may keep them involved.
Thank you. Luchel, do you want to adding another question or add some questions more? You okay? Okay. How about another questions?
Does our leadership in ASPAC have any questions?
Yes, it's a very good chance to ask questions. Don't be shy.
I mean, many of our times, our structure is all the same as far as how we do clubs. Doesn't matter if it's an ASPAC, Europe, or North America. We know what we're supposed to do. It's just a matter of making sure that we get it done with the right people involved. And getting the people involved is probably sometimes because many times we have people that don't want to do a leadership capacity, but they want to do that service project. And we need to capitalize on that, is that we need to make sure that as leaders, we provide those opportunities to individuals.
Okay, then
can I ask another question?
yes,
While no
please.
one is asking, so this is about the structure of the district. So I know we have governors here on the call and past lieutenant governors. So, Greg, can you tell us or share with us okay, why don't we take that question first? But my next question, my question is that every district, or there are districts that have different structure. There are districts that they have their lieutenant governors, and at the same time, they are the board of trustees. And there are districts that they have a separate trustees and lieutenant governor. So just a background of that.
We have in the Kiwanis International world, there are, last number I checked, is about 8 or 9 districts that have what's called the regional trustee board. Now, in our district, we have the board that handles all the policy, procedure, finances, the functioning of the district. Either that's made up of the officers, which are the governor, the immediate past governor, the governor-elect, and the lieutenant governors, each one of those divisions. That could be a board in itself. The United States has many of those. But then some districts have adopted another structure, is that instead of having the lieutenant governors being the board, they have what's called regional trustees. It almost mirrors the international board, is that the district is divided up into certain geographical areas, and an individual is elected from that region. Many 3 or 4 or 5 different divisions make up that one region, and then those divisions individuals, those clubs, elect that trustee. What it does is that instead of having potentially a 20-member board made up of lieutenant governors, you might have somewhere along the line of maybe 7, 8, 9 trustees that make up the board. It kind of pulls it down a little closer, is that you save a little bit on money if you have to pay for reimbursement of the lieutenant governors, but also it makes it a little easier to get a quorum on the district board with a smaller number. It's still, the two groups still function the same. The difference is going to be is that the lieutenant governors are still working for the district governor. They are what I call the mouthpiece of the governor. They are the ones that communicate directly with the clubs themselves. They are so close to the club presidents and the clubs that they're the ones they're the tool, the resource, the information from the governor to the clubs. And the district trustee, if that's an elected position, then they handle the finances and the policies of the whole district. 2 different board kind of concepts. One's a little bigger, one's a little smaller, but they still do the same thing as far as administering the business of the district.
Thank you very much.
Did I kind of explain it for you, Bill?
Yes, thank you, Greg. Yeah,
Okay,
thank you for giving us that.
Okay, then we have one more question from Veda. The question is, what would be the most important Kiwanis policy that every club officer should be familiar with?
Ooh.
Ooh, it's a very important
The
question.
most important policy.
Most important Kiwanis policy.
Most important one, I got to put a couple of them in together, is that the policy is that if you are a club officer, you need to make sure that you perform with transparency, which means that you need to make sure everyone knows how you're operating, not, kind of behind the scenes, that when people get their feelings hurt, you need to be upfront with individuals so they know what's happening, because you're working for the club itself. You're working for the benefit of the club. And when your club benefits, your community benefits, and your members do it. The policy of making sure individuals have opportunities, relevant service, and their leadership roles, those will make a club run very smooth if you can get that going on. If that's a policy in itself, let's say, as a leader, we should make sure that our clubs are functioning very efficient so others can have those opportunities.
Okay, thank you. Okay, time is running, and one more question. Okay, from Shuya Asano. If my club is small and the active members are 10 to 15, and there is no other appointed members as secretary nor treasurer, should we appoint members as soon as possible?
I believe if a smaller club sometimes is harder to function in our capacities, because you're relying upon so many members to do a lot of things. Those three offices we covered: president, secretary, treasurer, and I'll also throw in their membership chair. Those are four individuals that have to function very efficient to have our clubs working great. The president needs to lead it, show an example of what needs to happen. The secretary kind of organizes our records, our communications, keep everything in line. They are the person that kind of talks to Kiwanis International, or they are the individual that talks to our ASPAC officers. They are the ones that kind of the communication between our higher offices and the club. Treasurer, that person deals with a lot of the money, the finances. Maybe that could be one of the other people, maybe the secretary. Some clubs have the secretary and treasurer as one office. They combine the two and they do the same function. But then also a membership chair is a very high important office, because when you have 10 or 15 people involved, you need to get one or two every year to grow that membership so you can have a lot of opportunities and not your own members kind of being burned out. If you need to appoint those immediately, I would say don't just appoint just to have someone in there. Talk to one individual and make sure that they understand what they can do, what they have to do, and let them choose to say, I think I want to do this. I think I can do this, and I want to do this. When you have somebody that volunteers, a lot easier, it makes a lot smoother, as opposed to somebody being told what they're supposed to do.
Okay, so the next question, we have two more. Okay, so can you answer briefly? In terms of conflict between the national past lieutenant governor and the past president from different clubs in the division, who should handle the situation to solve the conflict? Wow.
Conflict. We just jump back. Sue Kimberly, child protection. Yes, that is very much, all of our clubs need to be educated on child protection, and our risk management is making sure that our young children, our youth, are protected from anybody and everybody in the world. Conflict between, let's just say officers, whatever it may be, either you're a current officer or a past officer, or if you're in different clubs, who should resolve that conflict? Well, if I'm president of a club, I want the least amount of conflict in my club, because if I have the least amount of conflict in my club, then my members are happy, and my members want to do things, want to service projects, want to be involved. So as a president of a club, I'm going to be the forefront to make sure that outside influences do not come into my club to make things life worse for my club. So if I'm a club president, I'm going to protect my club. If I'm a district governor, I want to make sure all of my clubs are functioning happily with fun. So if I'm a current officer in the board, I want to make sure that there's no outside forces coming in and making conflict, havoc, tension, friction, whatever you want to call it. I wanted that to be out there. I do know that there are some past officers, have them in my club too. They still want to run things. However, they need to understand is that there are other leadership that has taken the role and they're trying to do the best they can. And the past officers need to help the current ones.
Thank you. The last two questions. So can you answer very, very briefly? The one is, what should we expect if our leader do not practice transparency?
I believe accountability is the key. Once they know what they need to supposed to do, then us as club members need to call them down on it. Is that you're supposed to be doing this, or you should have done this. You told me you were going to do this, or like this. Accountability for anybody goes a long way. Even our personal lives is that when we say we're going to do something, we need to make sure that we do it. And others need to hold us accountable for doing that, is because that is the leadership capacity. If we practice transparency, if someone is not being transparent, then it needs to be exposed as far as that, to say, let's get, not necessarily to downgrade them, but get our club back on track to do what's best for our club. Accountability.
Okay, thank you. The very last question. Do we have, this is the question from Anne, and the such a question is from the Carlos. Thank you, Carlos. And Anne, do we have existing policies on the minimum number of members and clubs per division in the district? What will happen to divisions who don't meet the minimum numbers?
The minimum number we have really in a policy in Kiwanis International is the number to open a new club. Must have 15 members in order to open a new club. And we have a lot of clubs that fall below that, but they're still existing clubs. They're in good standing by paying their dues. There is no number really that shows that if you get below this number, you're non-existent. We don't really want to do that. We want to help those clubs increase their membership. When we have more clubs with a lower number, then we may need to look sometimes is that if they're in close proximity, maybe they need to merge, get together, let's say. But then sometimes clubs don't want to do that because there's different personalities, there's different projects they're doing. No minimum number is that, but however, when you get a low number, your club begins not to be most effective as it should. And the district needs to come in there and help those clubs that want to help themselves with new members, increasing members. That's part of what the district governor should be about, is that membership growing, and every club in there needs to have help with their membership.
Okay, thank you very much. And please give Greg the big hands. Thank you.
Thank you, Greg.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much for a wonderful session and their answering their lot of questions. We understand so much, so nicely. Very, very welcome. Thank you very much. Okay, now the time is running, and let me confirm how to get your certificate here. First, you must complete 4 modules in total, core module and 3 elective modules. And second, submit the evaluation form for each one. The core module held in February is mandatory and required for everyone. If you missed it, the recording is available on the announced Google Drive. So please watch it and submit your evaluation. Please be careful. You will not receive a certificate unless you submit the evaluation after every session. And in each module, you will see such spectacular speakers. Please look forward to meeting them. Now, we'd like to ask for your feedback for today's two sessions. Please scan the QR code on the screen and complete the survey. Your feedback is very important to us. We will take 2 minutes for the survey. Thank you for your cooperation. Gary, music, please. Gary, no music now.
We miss the music.
Yeah, we
The
missed the
Frank
music.
Sinatra music. But anyway, we had a very interesting session with Greg and so with Paul. So, and this is very helpful, especially for the club and the leaders of the club division and the district. So hopefully we could have another a special session with this, with a targeted audience later on, with the approval of Chair Reiko and Michelle Cordioli. Maybe this is another item that we could discuss. Very, yeah. Thank you, Greg,
Thank you very much. Appreciate
for
it, Bill.
sharing your time with us. Yeah.
Okay, 2 minutes have passed. And if you haven't finished yet, don't worry. You can continue after the meeting.
Question, Rico.
Yes, question, please.
Um, uh, Originally, this session was supposed to be session one by Greg, and then session two was supposed to be by Paul. But this
Yes.
time, they were
Switch.
reversed.
Yes,
They were
because at the
switched.
time, because of the time,
So
Paul, in Paul's time, the starting time was midnight, 2 o'clock. So we changed that schedule. I'm so sorry.
okay, because the survey indicates the
Sorry,
original.
changed. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Yes. Yeah, today we changed the schedule. I'm so
Yeah.
sorry. Thank you. Thank you for asking me. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
So
First
we'll
session, yes, changed.
We'll also reverse
Confused.
the
I'm so
rating.
sorry. Yes. Yeah, nice question. Everybody be careful. Today we changed the turn. The first one from Paul. So session governance, comes first, and the Kiwanis structure comes next.
So if I look at the evaluations, I probably need to look what y'all said about Paul. It might be me then, huh? if it reversed.
Reversed, yeah.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out later when we receive those the survey.
Okay, if you want to make sure the session 1, that means just write it Paul P, or session 2 Paul G, Greg G, or that may be easier for us to make sure. Or if you understand it, it's okay. Thank you very much for the evaluation. Okay, now let me have a quick announcement about next session. The next session, Module 2, will be held on April 4th. We have 2 sessions, and the speaker is Valeria Brown, past District Governor of California, Nevada, Hawaii District. The time schedule is the same as today. If you're not available online, please watch the recorded version later and submit the evaluation. As I said, as I emphasize again and again, your evaluation is required to get your own certificate. So please be careful. So thank you for your cooperation. We will close just on time. And everybody, do we need a group photo again, or is it okay?
I think so.
You think so? Okay.
Yeah, because when we took it earlier, some of the participants were on break, remember?
Okay,
You
so
call it on break, yeah.
okay, we will take a group photo together, and also we will conclude today's session. Okay, so everybody, please turn off your camera and be ready for the photo session. Okay, thank you, Greg and Paul, everyone. Thank you for your participation, and have a great day. Be ready for the photo session.
Who's taking it?
Where's Gary?
From Gigi, can you take it? Do you have maybe just a screenshot?
Okay, kindly turn on your camera, please.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll be taking one per page. So first page, I don't know. Okay. Who's Samsung SMA566B, please? Okay, 1, 2, 3. This is for the first screen. Then we have the second screen. And the third screen. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank
And let's
you,
meet
everyone.
at the
Thank
next
you.
module
Morning here.
2.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Hello,
Thank
everyone.
you.
Thank
Hi.
you.
Hi,
Take
Governor.
care.
Thank you.
See you all
Thank
in
you.
Manila.
Bye.
Hi, LT
Don't
Gobsuva.
forget the ASPAC stories.
Hayako.
Video 2.
Yes. Oh, Reiko, can we stay for a while? Maybe on
Yes.
GovG?
Yes,
Yeah.
please.
So and maybe Ging?
Can you stop recording, Gary? Gary. Oh.
Who's so
Gary
who's
is
hosting now?
Gary is the host.
Who's hosting now?
Gary is the host. We don't have the hosting.
Oh.
So he has to stop the
Yeah.
recording for, we're gonna upload that to be sent out.
Yeah. Right.
Gary. Oh, I think he's out
Okay.
of office or maybe.
Yeah. He will come back soon. Today, we have
Well,
62 participants.
yes, and
Yeah.
congratulations, Reiko.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thank
Really,
you.
really
congratulations,
very
Reiko.
The larger
interesting
number.
session.
Thank you,
Yes.
Reiko. Thank you, Greg. Thank you, everyone.
But we are very
Yeah.
sorry that we missed their music.
I
It's
think Gary
okay.
is
Yeah, we
out.
don't know. The
He's kind of
Gary,
busy.
I prepared, but I missed. And Gary
It's
said he
okay.
will prepare and choose, but
Yeah.
no. Next time. Next time.
Next time.
Yes.
You're not co-host,
Yes.
Reiko? You're not co-host?
Yeah, in my, just a minute.
Can we
No,
turn off
no,
request host to start?
I'm not a host. I'm not co-host this time.
Okay. Well, anyway, Gary will just cut off the recording and the unnecessary. I think you can edit, right?
Yeah, we can cut the video.
Yeah, you can edit. Well, anyway, there are lots of interesting topics that Paul and Greg brought in here. And for the for the membership and engagement committee, we're scheduled to do a workshop in March. Actually, this then schedule was made for March 21, so I think I'm gonna move it a week later. So we'll talk about club opening. This is following the BNR theme. So March we'll be doing the club opening. So we'll get some. We'll invite some speakers on their best practices on how recruitment club opening is done in their areas. And then also getting involved, we will be involving RKI membership or club opening committee, international committee on this. And then in March, that's March and April, looking at nurturing part. So our target audience for the nurturing part are the lieutenant governors, because I believe in the nurturing part, we are focused on clubs, right? How we take care of the clubs. And there are lots of information that we receive from today's sessions about that and questions. So I thought of injecting some of those in our session. And then in May, it will be the retaining part, the retention, and we focus on members. So again, there are lots of information that we receive from this session on keeping the members' interest, recognition, things like that. So perhaps if I could ask the help of this Leadership Academy committee, and also our leadership and development committee, to help the membership committee come up with the agenda or the design the agenda with what we have from this session also.
Wait, Reco, is this being live at YouTube? No.
Oh yeah, it is.
Is
Sorry.
it?
Online.
Online?
So
online and
okay.
If it's online, we need to call
we need to leave. Let's leave.
We need to call Gary. This is live. I think it has been aired to YouTube.
You mean April, you're gonna have a session for lieutenant governors?
Mm-hmm.
That you are inviting their audience to be lieutenant governors in all districts?
Yeah. Yeah, Reiko, I think we need to stop the discussion because this is still live.
We'll just send a new Zoom link, okay?
Yeah,
we'll just
please.
send a
Okay.
new Zoom link.
Let's
okay.
leave. So
Bye-bye,
it will
bye-bye.
automatically
Have a great
close.
day, everyone. Bye.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
We'll call again.
Yeah.